right, so like what I just said that we have learned the last section, we learned how to graph linear equations by slope-intercept form. Today, we are going to graph linear equations by what is called point-slope form. And it is exactly like it says. Okay, we're going to, the equation that we get, kind of like how we had this equation. Well, I'm going to give you a new equation today, excuse me, that will identify a point where the line goes through and the slope of that line. Now, again, I'm apologizing to you guys who are having to watch this right now without watching it live. I apologize. I had this huge, big presentation all done, ready for you guys, and I left it on my computer at school. So that's okay. So ready? You're going to write this down because here is, drum roll, here is your point slope form. It's y minus whatever your y coordinate is, equals m, which is the slope of your line, times x minus the x coordinate. Okay? All right, so it is the y minus whatever your y coordinate is, equals slope m times the x minus x1. Okay? All right, now here's what I'm going to tell you guys. The three things in here that will be replaced with values. This will be replaced with your y coordinate. I'm going to lose time. This will be replaced with the slope of the line, and this will be replaced with your x coordinate. Okay, all right. The only other thing that you guys need to be aware of that's a little crazy is this right here. This is subtraction, all right? So this is a subtraction kind of deal, and I'll talk about that in a second. All right, so you ready? This is how easy this formula is, okay? Okay, what if I told you you had a linear equation, and it was graphed, and it went through 5, 3 with a slope of -2? What would your equation be for that? If you had a line that goes through 5, 3, that point, that coordinate 5, 3, and had a slope of -2, what would your equation be? Look, you ready? This is yours point slope form, right? That's your point slope form. What's your m? Your m is what? -2. So I'm taking out the m and I'm plugging in -2. Ta-da! Next, this is your point. X is 5, y is 3. So I'm going to go to x and I'm going to take it out and I'm going to plug in 5. I'm going to go to the y1 because that's your y coordinate, and I'm going to plug in 3. Round of applause. You're done. You are done. Congratulations. You just wrote an equation in point slope form. Done. That's it. All right. Now, if I asked you to graph this, okay, if I were to ask you to graph this, watch. Oops, sorry. Maybe. Sorry, my graph paper is very, very light. Okay. I'm going to start at the point. Okay. My x coordinate is 5. My y coordinate is 3. So x is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My y coordinate's 3, 1, 2, 3. My line goes through that dot right there. Now I'm going to graph my slope. My slope, we already found it, is -2, but remember it's always rise over run. So it's -2 over +1. So all I'm going to do is I would go down to right 1, down to right 1, down to right 1. Or remember, okay, I could also go, look, 2 divided by -1 is also -2. So I could go up to left 1. Uh-oh, ran out of room. So guess what, you guys? Here is my graph. There's my graph that goes with this point slope form. That's it. That is it. I promise. This is how easy this is. Now, of course, there's a twist, but I'll talk to you about that in 1 second. All right, so here we go. We're going to take a look at another one. All I want you to do is write the equation in point slope form. So that's all we're doing right now, okay? You have a line that passes through 3, 7 with a slope of 1/2. What would the equation be in point slope form of a line that passes through this point and has a slope of 1/2? So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to think about that and do that. Go. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? Okay, if we want to write this in an equation in point slope form, what I'm actually going to do first is I'm going to write what point slope form is. Point slope form is y minus the y coordinate, so I put a little 1 next to that, equals m times x minus the x coordinate. That's point slope form. Now, all I'm going to do is plug in the information. So my m is 1/2. So this is going to be 1/2 right there. Okay, so y minus, what's my y coordinate up here? The 3 or the 7? Okay, don't make me sing my alphabet song again. Remember, when you have coordinates, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X first, y second. So my y coordinate is 7. Okay, equals my slope 1/2 times x minus my x coordinate, which is 3. There it is, you guys. That's it. There's your answer right there. That is what your problem is written in point slope form. All right, well, you know what? There's always a twist with Mrs. Parkin's math, that's for sure. So here we go. What would your equation in point slope form be for a line that goes through -2, 6 with a slope of -5? So what would your equation be in point slope form of a line that goes through -2, 6 and has a slope of -5? So really quick, this is my x value and this is my y value, right? So first step, I highly recommend that you write that down. Okay, every time, every single time. Okay, now let's plug in. So y minus y1, your y coordinate is 6. So I just plug that in. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Equals my slope, which is -5, times x minus my x coordinate of -2. Okay. Here's where the twist happens. No thanks. Keep, change. All right. Keep, change. So this is actually what, oops, sorry. what your point slope form equation will be. So here's the twist. If you were looking at this problem right here, and I asked you, what is the point and what is the slope of a line? Okay. It's like opposite day. All right. Since the number attached to your X is a +2, that means the actual coordinate, remember, don't type in the chat room right now. Shoot. Okay. The actual coordinate is the opposite. So it's a -2. Okay, because my point slope form is subtraction. All right, so that means that even though it's subtraction, this number right here is a positive. So that's why this Y value is a positive. And it doesn't matter about your slope. Your slope doesn't matter. It's still the same. Okay, so another example of this would be like this. If I had this coordinate, okay, if I had that point slope form, okay, remember point slope form is subtraction. So if you have a +3 here, really that's Y minus a -3 equals 1/2. And then look, another addition. So it's minus a -5. So your X coordinates -5, your Y coordinates -3, and your slope doesn't change. It doesn't affect your slope. All right, so here we go. Another situation that you're going to see is this. What is the equation in point slope form of this graph? So I want to write an equation in point slope form of this graph. And here's what I know about this graph. I know that this graph, it goes through point -23. I know that. I also know that this line has, if I build my stairs, oh, you can't see my stairs very well. If I build my stairs, I go down 1, so that's -1 for my rise. Right, 1, 2, 3, so that's +3 for my run. I know that this has a slope of -1/3. So do you see what I did? I identified the point my line went through, okay, right there, and I identified my slope. Now with those two things, all I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my point slope form equation. So again, I always start with this because that reminds me what point slope form is. And now plug it in, plug it in. So my Y coordinate, remember, XY is 3. So it's Y minus 3 equals M, which is -1/3 times X minus my X value, which is a -2. Okay, nope. You're not done because you can't end with this. So your point slope form is Y minus 3 equals -1/3 X plus 2. And that's what your equation would be from this graph. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. Now we're going to graph an equation based off of this equation in point slope form. Okay, so let me draw my X and Y axis. And again, I apologize, you guys. Like I said, everything was ready to go, but that's okay. We're going to deal with it. So here is, again, what I recommend. Underneath this, you're going to write Y minus Y1 equals M times X minus X1, right? So first, let's identify the easiest part, the slope. M equals 4. Yep, there's my slope. But remember, slope is always rise over run, so make it a fraction if it's an integer. Okay, so 4/1 is my slope. Next, this is subtracting my Y coordinate. So this is my Y coordinate, and that's my x coordinate. There's no addition here, so neither one of those are negative. So my x coordinate was 1, my y coordinate is 2. And that's all we're going to do. You ready? We're going to graph this coordinate. 1, 2 is right here. We're going to put a dot on that. 1, 2. Now I'm going to do my slope. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1, and put another dot. Guess what? My slope also could be -4 over -1, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I could go down 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1. Ta-da! There's my line. All right, so just like what we just got done doing in the last section, where I gave you 2 coordinates and your job was to write an equation. Last time it was in slope-intercept form. This time is to write it in point-slope form. Okay, so we're going to use this to write an equation in point-slope form. And trust me, this will be super simple if you let it be. All right, so point-slope form. Oops, sorry. I'm back in slope-intercept form. Is y minus y1 equals m, which is slope, x minus x1, right? Well, I already know my x and y's. I could either use this x and y, or I could use that x and y. Doesn't matter. The only thing I don't know is my slope. So let's find my slope out right now. Okay, remember slope, to find slope, you subtract your y values over your x values. So it's -4 minus -7. These are my y values. Over 2 minus -1. Those are my x values. Okay, keep, change, change, keep, change, change. So -4 plus 7 is 3. 2 plus 1, oh my goodness, is also 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Your slope is 1. Okay, done. That's the hardest part, because now watch this. You've got 2 coordinates. You have -1, -7. And you have 2, -4. You ready? Your equation in point-slope form. Ready? Here it is. Y minus y1, -7, equals slope 1 times x minus the x coordinate, -1. Okay, let's keep change, change. So this becomes y plus 7 equals 1 times x plus 1. You can have that equation. That would be your answer. That could be your answer. Or this one. Okay, we're going to do the same thing except for with these coordinates. So y minus, here's my y value, -4, equals, m, I already know my m is 1, and then x minus my x coordinate of 2. And it's a positive 2, so I can leave it just like that. Keep, change, change. Here it is. Guess what? You can have this equation or this equation. It's your choice. Your choice. Okay? So let's recap really quick. So what we did is we learned how to write an equation in point-slope form when given a coordinate, a point, and the slope. That's what we did first. Okay. Then we graphed an equation from point slope form. Okay. All right. Then we did that. Then let's see. We did that. Oh, then we wrote a point slope form, an equation in point slope form from a graph. Might help if I write this correctly. Point slope form when we were given a graph. And last but not least, we wrote an equation in point slope form from two coordinates when given okay. Now, please remember all of this stuff is in your math book too. So if you get stuck, okay, just look at your math book. It's there as well.